first. Why are we driving? Like most people, I do a lot of thinking when I'm driving. Most of my thinking happens at night when I leave work and I realize, like, fuck, what am I doing with my life? And then I come back home. And then there's days where I continue to keep doing what I'm doing, like get on the computer and shit. Maybe push out some content or edit or schedule or come up with ideas of what, or start reaching out to people, whatever. But these last 9 months, I guess 9, right? March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. 8 months. Okay. Yeah, these last 8 months, they have been pretty interesting. So we started the podcast back in March, right? Ideally, the podcast was supposed to be political content. You know, that's kind of what I was leaning towards to at the time. But, you know, when I brought David into the fold, you know, we were like, all right, so what would you rather do? So then we talked about it, and then we came up with entrepreneurship. And I think that's where we fell off. Now, before we say anything, the reason we say that is because originally we wanted to interview like entrepreneurs who didn't really get too much, you know, notoriety out there and kind of like, you know, platform them essentially. That way people can hear their story, get to know them, who they are a little bit more, talk about their business a bit more. And it was cool. Trust me, it was cool. We've had on a lot of interesting people. But as we kept on doing this, I think there was a need for us to prove something to ourselves and say, hey, we want to be able to get the bigger clientele too, so to speak. And that's exactly what we did. We ended up getting Amari Cooper on. We got Smooth Vega, people from K104, Accomplice, J. Cruz, Ariel Grind. We even got Texas Rangers pitcher Grant Anderson. He got sent back to the minor leagues. But he is a World Series champion. He has a ring, so whatever, right? Anyways, we go, and it's crazy too because it's like, all right, cool, you know, we can actually go after these things. But here's the thing about podcasting: if you can't okay, the credibility of your podcast depends on the value the client, or I keep saying client, bro, but that's essentially what this was at the beginning. Like, okay, let me rephrase that. The value of your podcast is determined by the level of guests you bring on. And I think a little bit of it wanted to prove to us that, hey, we can bring on the bigger guests. And it's crazy because, like, I know we can. And I think that's where we lost them, you know? We were chasing bigger level guests, and then we kind of stopped focusing on why we started the podcast to begin with. And I mean, I keep saying we, but I'm really just speaking for myself. Fast forward a few months, cosign awards, you know, that's the thing. I'm like, okay, cool, you know, let's try to go after this accolade. It'll be good for us. And sure enough, we did. That whole month during voting, man, we were throwing out banger after banger, bro. And after the month ended, it was like, all right, cool, we can breathe a little bit. You know, we can stop telling people to vote and all this and that. You know, just kind of get back into what we were doing. Where was I? I'm driving, by the way. Okay. So, you know, there was always a little part of me that was like, are we really gonna win this? But then that's just a pessimist in me that's always like, you know what, let's be realistic here. We're going against some steep competition. Like, if we don't win, then cool. Like, it is what it is. Like, I wouldn't even be mad. But that brief moment where they got to our category and they named us, and then we saw the little, thumbnail on the logo and shit like that, and they announced the winner and it wasn't us, I was like, damn. I don't know, bro. I didn't expect it to sting that bad. That bad enough to the sense where, like, I decided to just I gotta fucking get it out, bro. I gotta get it out. Because this shit's eating me. But here's the crazy thing about it. I don't know what it is, but I knew I didn't want it. I was kind of relieved that we didn't win. But at the same time, it's like, damn, I wish we did win. Because on the way home, I was just thinking about all the shit that we did to, like, push it. And everything that we've done since we brought on Ariel for open discussions. And mind you, I'm producing both fucking podcasts. And at first it was cool keeping up with the shorts, but then these side projects started kicking in, and I was like, oh, well, I can't really do open shorts. I can do direct shorts because that's what I like. I like that, but don't get me wrong, I like open discussions too, but I told David and Ariel from the beginning, I'm like, hey guys, like, I want to help y'all produce it. I'm here to consult and whatnot, but essentially, I don't want to be doing the work for the three of us. And I know, I get it, you guys are talking on the mics, basically talent at that point. But I don't want it to be where it's just, oh, yeah, no, we're just talking on the mics and, he's our producer. And leave it at that. If anything, I wanted to instill them the skill set that I've developed from scratch. Mind you, from scratch. They don't know what the fuck I was doing from the beginning. And I'm still trying to figure certain things out, but nevertheless, I'm ranting. But yeah, open discussions, direct discussions, all that. And why did I just go down the bumpiest fucking road? Anyways, yeah. I lost my train of thought. Let me see. Cosign award. It's not winning. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's so funny because a few months ago, I swear to God, bro, I feel like I ignored the sign from God that He gave me to pursue this. And that sign was being really, really, really behind on content, and then wanting to like get off of work. And then for the weirdest, most strangest way I got off. And I've never seen it in the 9 years that I've been working there. I've never seen it before, right? But it happened. And it didn't fucking hit me until George Jenko and Tracy Cortez dropped their episode on the George Jenko show. And I'm going to play the clip right here between this little insert so you guys can see what I'm talking about.
That is coming from God. Because think about it. You just told me right now that you planned for your fights. It got canceled. You had surgery. It happened last year. You're literally sitting here being like, why are my plans not going according to where I want them? But you still have peace and joy.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that happen if you got your fight and you got the bag and you got the win? But God is trying to show you, you naturally are going back to your, I need the title, I need this, because I worked for this, so this is where my joy and peace is. So to be honest, this is going to sound like a little sharp, but I've realized in my life, He only rewards me when I behave like a good father. So He gives me the house when I prove to Him that I don't need the house.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to give him, I'm not going to give my son something that's going to hurt him. I'm not going to give my son a car if he's 14, but I would give it to him when he's ready for it.
Yes, and that's where I feel that has been going on with my career.
Amen.
It's like you know what it is? Oh man, this is the first time I ever say this. I was making my career my God.
Yeah.
I was, oh my God, I just want this. Oh my God, just do this for me, please. Oh my God. And then it would never happen. I need to find a way to, and instead of relying on Him and trusting Him and knowing, hey, I don't need this.
Yep.
I don't need this. And that's kind of, and I think a lot of fans, hardcore MMA fans, might get upset at me when I say this, but I'm in a place now where I was really fighting for the title. And there's nothing more that would make me, happy than to get what I worked extremely hard for. But I'm also fully aware of, what I want probably isn't what God wants for me. And I'm okay with that. And if, it even breaks my heart a little bit, but if that's not his journey for me and his goal for me, which it hurts, like, I accept it. I really do. And I think that's when I accepted that's when I felt this peace and I feel this calmness, and I'm still working. I'm not working, but like, that's not my God anymore, And that's where I'm at.
You're going to receive it. And I'll explain why. I don't know.
Okay, there you go. But yeah, the whole reason I bring this clip up in particular is because that's kind of where I'm at now. Where it's like Tracy Cortez going after the title, but the moment she realized she didn't need the title to begin with, her life got a whole lot easier. And I think right now at this very moment, I know I didn't need the thing, the co-sign podcast of the year award, but I'm still trying to, come to terms with that, like, feeling of disappointment in myself, that disappointment that I'm carrying for, like, everybody that we brought on the podcast, all the supporters, the people who've decided to start their own podcast because they were on our platform. Like, it's fucking crazy, bro. So many people pour their time into our platform, and for us to not win, I think what I'm trying to say is that I'm carrying that cross a little too much. Not to mention the fact that, Jesus Christ, like, I want to get into videography more often than not. I think about it. I'm like, man, if I can do this for us, what kind of value can I bring to other people who are wanting to get into this space? Something that separates me from all the other videographers or podcast recorders or whatnot. And I'm always thinking in my head, I'm like, what can I do differently? And I know what I can do differently than these other fucking people. But it's like, okay, now it just needs to make sense, because if I leave an $80,000 a year job to pursue this, then I have a household to worry about, And it's like, okay, how can I turn this into a business? How can I leave my job to make time for this? I'm gonna let you know right now. I don't know what's gonna take, but at the beginning of the year, 2025, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna fucking quit. I need to go all in on this, but I also need to make it make sense to where I'm not relying on this for money. If anything, I just need more time. I already know. I can't tell you guys yet. It's not for me to tell, but I'm working on something really, really big. And hopefully it frees up a lot of my time so I can help those people who would like to elevate their content. But yeah, back to the whole Tracy Cortez thing. In that podcast, she was referencing her battle that she was having with her faith, where she was asking God to not change her and whatnot. George Jenko was like, bro, he has to change you. That's the only way you're gonna grow. And the reason I draw so much relation to that is because, like, damn, bro, like, I really need to fucking quit if I'm gonna go all in on this. Like, it isn't even about the fucking, like, making fucking recording and talking and shit like that. And yes, I understand all the technicals and shit like that, and that's really where I strive in technicals. But there's so many fucking people out here who don't have, like, let's see, how can I word it? These people have a small audience to share their stories and their thoughts and their wisdom and shit like that. But the whole reason I started this fucking podcast with David was because I wanted to expand that audience for people. God. I don't know. I think what's next for me is quitting my job, buying a business, freeing up my time, focusing my time on content creation, and really giving this all I got. Because I'll be honest, these last few months, I've kind of been slacking on the short form content. And I don't know if it's because I felt a little discouraged because I was trying to get David and Ari on board and it just wasn't working for a while. And I was just like, well, damn, like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, I don't want to do both fucking podcasts. But then the scheduling part is the most tedious part for me. But I think moving forward, I think we're in a better position to really dial in and focus on what we have to do. And this sounds like, oh my God, like, why is this motherfucker over here talking about all this shit? I think I just need to get it out, to be honest with you. I think moving forward, I'm gonna put more faith in faith in God. There's always been a belief in God, right? And all this, and I've seen it, and it's happened when I bought my house, and I acknowledge the fact that that was an actual thing that happened, you know, but I think I've been relying on my skill set more often than my faith. You know, maybe I took that verse where, you know, faith without works is dead. Maybe I take that a little too seriously. But I think I'm going to start really dialing in on my faith and believing. And I think the first step to doing that is, you know, quitting my job. I'm not happy there. It pays really fucking well. Just not happy. But yeah, I'm gonna put this whole journey into God's hands. I'm gonna trust Him with my patience. I'm gonna keep putting the work in, along with David and Ariel. And we're gonna see how far we can take this shit. Because, let's be honest, we don't need an award to tell us that we're doing a good job. If people are watching, if people are relating and they, you know, share or like, or they're like, hey, could you help me with this or could you help me with that? I think that's good enough. But let's be honest, the world runs off the dollar, so, you know, it just has to make sense. So yeah, we want to get monetized, we want to get sponsored. We want to be able to attract bigger talent on the podcast, build a team, get a studio space, all that to generate income, because it's like, bruh, this has to turn into a business. We have to approach the podcast like a business and not like a, oh, it'll blow up when it blows up, or maybe that just one clip. Nah. I think that separates me from a lot of people in this space. Because it's, okay, so it's super easy when you've done something with your life and you have all this clout to start a podcast. Some people are like, oh, okay, bet. But for us to start from the fucking beginning, bro, like, I swear, like, none of us were really on social media like that, like, at all. Like, it's crazy. Like, I mean, I barely even use Instagram. I got 161 friends on Facebook, and I don't even use my personal Instagram. If anything, I put more of my energy on this podcast Instagram. But for us to get from 0 subscribers to almost 600 in these 8 months on pure work alone, man, I think that's where I take a lot of my pride in. It's like, yeah, just gotta keep putting in the work. Fuck. Okay. But yeah, that's what we got coming up so far. You know, we're not done. By no fucking means, we're not done. There's so much shit left to do. And I think 2025 is going to be a prosperous year. It's going to be a challenging year. It's definitely going to be the year that we either decide this is it or this isn't it. Because I'm not gonna fucking do a podcast for 3 years and hope it works. No. You gotta move carefully. You gotta move strategically when you're producing content. When you're making connections, you know. You can't just throw... I mean, it's funny because I'm gonna say this right now. Because I really just do this with shorts on YouTube because it's kind of like... You gotta put so much fucking content on YouTube out. You know, to stay relevant or whatever. But... precision is key. Oh, god damn. But hey, if you're still watching this, I want to thank you for making it to the end of the video. I want to thank you if you're a follower, a subscriber, a guest who's been on the podcast, someone we've interacted with in the past before. Man, the energy that you pour into us is everything. I really mean that. Until next time.